One thing I'm going to miss about when we drop that intro is it
Yeah.
really lets me relive my rock band days from back when I had the drum set that I could play on. Yeah.
See, and at first when you showed me that song, I was like, a little too maybe a little harder than I usually
Yeah.
listen to. But now that I know that we have a new song for the relaunch when we do it, I'm like, I'm gonna miss that song. I don't know why, because when it starts, I'm like, I sit here and I just bounce up and down while I'm sharing, and then ready to go. And now it'll be gone, and it'll just be like the songs we've had in the past, where it's like, oh, I missed that.
I still, we still have it. I created it on Suno, so
I will
you
say,
should
as
play
much
with
as I
it.
like Han Solo Cool, it got
Yeah.
on me a little bit after a while, after a couple of years, you know. But
Oh yeah.
what would you make it on? Sono, you said?
Suno, Suno.
Okay.
It is okay. It's an AI, music generation thing. It's like one of the best in the industry, and with the free account, which is what I have because I'm a cheap bastard,
See, I know that feeling. Yeah.
you get 50 credits a day, and basically what that 50 credits does is it lets you. It's like 5 credits per song generation. All right. And it generates 2 versions of every input you do. So basically, it's 5 generations with 2 outputs per generation. But here's the thing I found out is that if you're signed up for it, if you don't use those 50 credits a day, it builds up.
Oh.
All right. Up and right now mine is because I went on there, I was working on some stuff, when I did this one and I was working on some stuff the other day, it builds up to a max of 550 credits. So you have enough there for what is that? Five, a lot. So if 50 is 5, then 500 is God. Okay, so
Don't make me
550
do
we have
math.
5 and 55 song generations you can save up.
Well, shoot.
And yeah, that's excellent because I don't use those all, and so I'll sit there and I'll play around and I'll figure out the song that I want. And normally that'll take me like, you know, 4 or 5 generations, and then I don't use it again for another couple days or weeks or whatever. And then when I go back, it's peaked all the way up, and I got 55 song generations I can do.
See, that's good. I got 2 art programs I have that do the credit things like that.
Yeah,
One of them just replenishes like every week, I think it is. So it gives me a chance to toy around with stuff. And then if I've toyed around too much, I got to wait a week.
yeah.
And then the other one is every time I renew my subscription once a year. So I think that project I worked on for Big River, the T-shirt, I used all my AI shit up on that, and I didn't know that it wouldn't renew until.
My mic is cutting out. I mean, my speaker's cutting out, dude.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, as you're talking, go ahead and talk.
Okay, 1, 2.
Yeah, you're doing the stuff. It's just my speaker cutting out.
I'm sorry.
Gosh darn it.
While you're switching that, I'll.
So give me a second.
That's all right. I'll do a quick to everyone the things that we're gonna talk about a few things. Huh?
All right, here we are. We're back now. Okay. I got you on the secondary speakers.
Today, probably the next podcast or two is going to be us talking about, news like we normally do. Of course, we're coming back. Ash talked to the borough last weekend. They've given us pretty much free reign to come back as we wish. So we're going to have a talk with Cookie because he's still having some health issues. And he did say to tell everybody hi. He misses everybody.
Now, with the boroughs, I would not say it is as we wish. They just told us that Wednesdays will be fine for us to come back.
Right. Yeah, that's what.
But of course, we'll need to check in with them ahead of time and make sure that the Wednesday is cool and stuff like that. And I'm assuming that we're probably going to start off like just once a month going in and doing.
I would think that's what I was telling Cookie when I talked to him briefly earlier. Is I think as much as I liked doing it up there every week, that's a lot of extra work. And just doing it this way has been nice, but also it's still work. And it's not that it's work. It's just, we always have things going on. And even now, like I left working on the Anime Fest to come in here and do this a little bit so I can leave this and then go back and work on that. And but it's also nice to be able to, like, I don't want to say phone it in a little bit right now, but that's a little bit of it. So today we're going to talk about basic geek news coming up. We got a couple trailers to hit, and there's Jess, and she walked away.
She didn't realize that we were recording.
I forgot you were doing this.
Oh, you're fine.
Lost track of what day it was. So hold on, I gotta come in here and give him a kiss because I haven't seen him yet tonight.
Love you.
Love you too.
Now I feel like I'm keeping you from your wife who hasn't seen you all day. But
we've been married for almost 18 years. No, you're not keeping me from her.
But as time allows today, we're going to probably take a look at the second Superman trailer came out, the Peacemaker trailer, and then, yeah, we'll probably go ahead and watch that Spider-Man Noir. It's only about 30 seconds. But I figured I'd bring that up first, the Spider-Man Noir, because you brought up the AI. And it was hard for me to find that trailer today. I have watched 20 Spider-Man Noir trailers. But because the series is coming out in both black and white and color, there are so many fake trailers out there where people are taking edits from Across the Spider-Verse, some of the snippets from the trailer, and they're adding AI in. There are so many. I couldn't find the actual Sony release. I found some say they were released by Amazon Prime, but then it's not Amazon Prime.
Yeah, you got to go to their actual account.
And so I have had a hard time. I believe I've got the actual one, which is only about a 30-second trailer. But there is so much footage out there floating around, both real and faked, like tons of it. That's why that first trailer I sent you, Ash, I said, snitch that one, because that was just a fan-made trailer. And I started watching. It's like, oh, this is it. I recognize some of the footage. Nope, fan-made. I think I watched 5 fan-made trailers before I found the right one.
Oh, that's humans.
Well, and the thing is, normally you could look at them and just go, oh, yeah, it's fan-made. That's easy. It's easy to tell. With these, I think because of the black and white, and it's shot to look kind of like Sin City, that green screen kind of look.
Yeah.
So then when something looks off or bad, or like they superimpose Nick Cage from The Rock into, I don't know, Sin City or something, it almost looks right. So you watch it and you're like, no, that all looks legit, because it is a little cheesy.
Here's my problem. I'm looking at Sony Pictures Entertainment right now.
Yeah.
I went to their YouTube site and went to their videos and organized them by latest. The latest video that they put out was 3 weeks ago.
See, and that's the thing is I've had such, and I know it exists because I've been watching everybody reviewing it, the trailer for it.
Well, maybe the trailer has been out longer than we know.
Yeah. Well, and there's definitely behind the scenes footage that have come out. And I have seen a couple of the Good Geeky podcasts doing, or YouTube channels, reviewing the false trailers. I saw 2 earlier that reviewed false trailers thinking they were the legit trailers. So that's one reason I picked the shortest one, because then we can still talk about it, and it's not going to matter as much.
Right.
Because they're going to be releasing so much, and this isn't coming out to, I think, 2026 is the official release date. So, yeah.
Well, hold on here. Apparently, they release things, like the Superman trailers, they release under DC itself.
Right. So that's DC and HBO are both releasing those trailers, and then, but for Across the Spider-Verse, that's going to be a series on Prime. So that's between Sony and Prime, and it's not part of the Marvel Disney Marvel. It is part of Sony's Marvel.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
See, and I've had that problem with some of the DC stuff because, well, even the Peacemaker trailer we're going to be watching today, of course, there's a John Cena edit that John Cena released. There's an HBO edit that HBO released, and then there's DCEU edit that James Gunn released. And they're all only like, I don't know, 5 seconds of different shit in them. So I went with the official DCEU, I believe.
By the way, Kelly said hi.
Well, hi, Kelly. Kelly sent me an auction, which I want to mention. I want to mention, but I almost don't, because I'm getting Tammy. I'm going to send it to Tammy at Big River. But do you know the Steampunk Village in Wichita? Have you seen
what?
The Steampunk Village?
No.
It's been around for well, since probably since Emerald City was here. It's a guy's house or property in Wichita, and he's one of those like yard art kind of guys.
Mm-hmm.
Makes stuff, welds it, and he has beautiful pieces. And I'm not just saying like somebody who like, yeah, I welded a fucking steering wheel onto a water heater, and I mean it's like genuinely beautiful pieces. So it's almost like an art exhibit. And I don't know the reasoning behind it, but they're auctioning off the whole collection. I'll send you a link because just looking through it, there's some cool looking stuff. I don't know if any of it I'd necessarily buy because I already got tons of shit like that. But
yeah,
it is some beautiful stuff. I almost hate promoting it too much because I'm going to bid on some stuff and I don't want to be bid against. But for those still into the steampunk world, there's some cool shit on there. And Kelly got me hooked up on that. I don't even know, Kelly, if you know why they're if the guy passed away or what, let me know. He always finds a good auctions. He found one with I don't know how many Cadillacs, like the Ghostbuster ambulance Cadillac.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it never happened, but it was happening. I think he just lives between here and Wichita, and there's like 5 or 6, if I remember right, which is a lot.
That is a lot.
But Kelly says stuff was cheap. Dang it. So we should hit Geekgasms real quick, and then we can start talking about some of this. Or did you not have one this week?
I have not had a Geekgasm this week, except for I broke my own rule because I have so many freaking models that I need to get to that I said that I'm not gonna buy another one until I got one out the door. All right, because I had 42 of them. Notice I used the term had 42. I now have 43 models because somebody on Facebook was selling both a 1990s 1/1400 scale Enterprise D fiber optic kit, the one model that ran the fiber optic lighting, selling that kit, as well as the Playmates Star Trek Next Generation ship, still in the box, never opened, and selling it as a bundle and for a really good price. So I broke my own rule and got that. So I don't know if that's a geekgasm or just me realizing that I need to get to a group and tell people, yes, I have a problem.
Yeah. I've been struggling with because I got the printers going again. So I did some, test prints, and then I went to go start printing the dinosaur again, which a couple of those prints I got to go in and re-edit them in the files to make them work. So while I'm doing that, like right here in front of me, you're not going to be able to see, but like I got this Mad Max trophy I'm working on, stuff and just weird shit. There are so many here, I can't keep up. It's almost insane.
Well, see, and that's one of the problems too that I am finding that I'm getting to is I'm getting to the point where I just have so much stuff going on, working on this model, working on this thing, working on this lighting system, working on this, working on that I'm just I'm to the point where I just don't know where to go and what to do. I am overwhelmed with the number of things that I've taken on. So I need to start thinning this herd out a little bit.
That's where I am. And then here we are like, we're going to relaunch the podcast and do some live shows. It's like, it was a lot easier over the winter to do these prints when I was locked in. I didn't have shows. And then now there's shows coming at me left and right, and I can't.
Then you didn't have the motivation to do it.
Right. Yeah. Well, I was doing it. I was enjoying it. But now, like, I'm seeing stuff like my geekgasm this week was Saturday at the Boulevard Theater in Old Town. Our Ghostbuster group went, and they had a showing of Ghostbusters Afterlife. So we set up a whole display. We did the containment unit thing with the traps, and we had an ectomobile out front and Slimer to take pictures with, all that stuff. And we were greeting families as they came in. It wasn't very busy, like legit for one of the busiest theaters in town. I think we had 7 families come through, and that's for every theater, not just the Ghostbusters show.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it was odd. Nobody was out. It seemed like, But we had a great time, so we all got to talk, and we're all comparing gear, and we're comparing some of our 3D prints, and man, all I want to do is come home and work on stuff and do prints and things like that. And instead, I've been working on Anime Fest and doing a real job. But my geekasm was getting to hang out with all the Ghostbuster people on Saturday. I wasn't sure how it would go. I went, had a really good time, got to meet some new members. We had one guy that just walked in, full gear, beautiful pack.
Really?
Probably like a $1,000 pack. He had his own little hat thing. I mean, he had a bunch of real nice shit. And he's showing us his collection, which honestly, if you've seen my office here with all the Ghostbusters, he's got some stuff in there that I was like, oh, I'm so jealous. Here's what my office looks like, but I want your office. I mean, it was like mine's prettier, a lot of ways, but his has so much cool stuff. And he was just some guy in Wichita that he's been to like 2 cons in the area and didn't know much about the Ghostbuster group, didn't know much about events, but he had all this beautiful gear, man. So it was good to show up.
Well, there was something that apparently the Star Trek group they talked about this weekend that is interesting. They are looking to do a photo shoot down at the water treatment plant down South Broadway. Because apparently they're here recently. Some of the geek community had done that, the cosplay community, and then they have reached out to the Trekkies about doing a shoot that is more sci-fi in nature instead of standard cosplay. So they're looking to have a what was it to photography events, Star Trek photo shoot at water treatment plant. Yeah, basically that's what it is cosplay community wants to have a stuff with more sci-fi stuff, and is reached out to the Trekkies to for like costuming and stuff like that, because apparently that water treatment plant at night when the lights are on and stuff like that, it looks really cool.
Was that Sunflower cosplay by chance? Do you know, or was that...
I don't know. I don't know. I would have to ask the Leddens.
Yeah, I'm just curious because I know Sunflower Cosplay. The guy who runs that had joined our group, and then they joined your group too. Also, and that's the one person I think that's in both groups.
No, actually, he's not the one that brought it up. He wasn't there this weekend. He had some stuff he had to do. Okay.
On your Star Trek thing, before we get to the news and stuff, I should mention I did get. I was already buying you one of these because they were $2, but I didn't even see the cool little NC-17 double or NCC 1701 on there.
I already have one.
Oh, do you really? Oh, well,
but like I said, these things will be good. I mean, for $2, and I'll get you back.
Yeah,
they are good little things, for the Trekkies, as like a little gift or a little attaboy kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or whatever, it's good to have little tchotchkes that you can give away to make people feel better.
Because even if they had one that was just all pirates or something for $2 a piece, I'd have been like, yeah, buy them. I'll put them on the table at Ren Fair, or we'll give them out as prizes at the Smoker or something. Or
yeah, exactly. That was my idea. And Gannon loves mine because every morning, with his ADHD, every morning he has a cup of coffee, which helps him concentrate in school during the day.
Really?
And yeah, it's one of those things for kids with ADHD, or people with ADHD, drinking coffee or ingesting caffeine doesn't wire them up like it does, neurotypical people. It actually helps them calm down and concentrate.
I'm going to start giving my 9-year-old coffee.
Yes, there's nothing bad about it.
She literally
had what I do is because of course he's a kid and he doesn't want coffee straight black. I'm a cynical old man coffee. So we went and got a tub of hot cocoa mix from Walmart, and he puts 2 scoops of the hot cocoa in there with the coffee, and he has chocolate coffee in the morning. And yeah, he loves using my Star Trek mug for that.
Well, he can have another one now. I will say the handle's nice.
Well, you only got, did you, I told you to get like 5 of them.
Yeah, I got 5 of them. Yeah.
All right, sweet.
I had 9 of them there. I almost just grabbed them all, but because I thought, man, I'll put like a Ghostbuster logo on the side. That way, if I ever do that shuttle that you sent me, the Star Trek Ghostbuster shuttle.
Yeah.
Well, like Kelly even put down here, you got to make the Slimer Ghost or Slimer the Hutt. He sent me somebody had made Slimer the Hutt. So just imagine Jabba the Hutt, but with like Slimer's arms and face.
Dude,
And then it had the box and everything. Like they did.
Speaking of hodgepodge, I have a not Ghostbusters, but I have a file for a model that is a combination of the Millennium Falcon and the Enterprise.
Oh, that's cool.
Matter of fact, let me see here.
Yeah, I saw somebody did the Planet Express ship with the Ectomobile too.
Oh, that would be awesome. Model Workshop. I'm going to bring it up really quick and show it to you. It's just a fun little thing. Oh, here it is. And share screen. Yeah, it's called the USS Falcon.
If I went in the middle of the podcast, I'd send you that Slimer the Hutt too. Okay, yeah, I see that.
Yes, for those listening in, what they did is you have the Millennium Falcon, you have the main disc of the Millennium Falcon, but that is now like the upper, saucer section of the Enterprise. And instead of the cockpit at the front, that comes around, and instead of the cockpit at the very end of that arm reaching out, it's got the deflector dish at the front. And
I think they did a good idea. I don't know if I like the deals out the side as much.
It was a free file, a little hodgepodge.
I dig shit like that. I was even talking about that this weekend because I do the Swashbusters group too, the Pirate Ghostbusters. Yeah. I always love it when people do a mixed match like that. As long as it's funny, tongue in cheek. Like we in St. Louis, we used to have the Star Trek group that was also the Love Boat group with Captain James T. Stubing and stuff.
Yeah.
So, and I like that. I like that way better than just seeing like a Monty Python group running through,
Oh yeah, totally. And like one of the things that he has on here is, this one is one of his free files, is the USS Endocrine. Let me make this bigger. And basically, it's the Enterprise with on the top a large coffee mug.
I assume you got to get your own coffee mug.
No, that's actually, if you look inside, that's actually all built in.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, it doesn't really hold coffee.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like something you can set your coffee on every day, like.
No, that would never take the weight of my massive mug, is what he told her. But no, Model TrekWorks actually has some very interesting models up there, and they're one of the first places I ever saw that, because he has both Star Wars and Star Trek stuff. But when he breaks it down, he doesn't break it down by Star Wars or Star Trek. He breaks it down by science fiction and science fantasy.
That makes sense. So it is Star Wars, Star Trek.
Yeah, Star Wars is science fantasy. Star Trek is science fiction. Yeah.
No, I like it.
Yeah.
Although we should talk about other stuff. I was going to say, I am leaning so more towards Star Trek and away from Star Wars lately. It's just, I love Star Wars, but it's just, man, it's.
But here's the thing is, don't think you're going to get away from wokeness in Star Trek. Star Trek is the original woke.
It's always been there. But I think because it's always been there, it's easier because that's part of the series. It wasn't something forced. It's not well, I guess it is an agenda in a way, but it's and I've heard that it got real bad in later iterations. But like some of the wokeness.
Some of the what?
Some of the wokeness in Star Trek.
Okay. In Discovery, I don't know because I haven't been able to stomach it yet, but I'm gonna get back into it. But apparently, in Star Trek Strange New Worlds, they did go a little hard towards almost all female, except for Spock and Pike. The entire rest of the cast, crew, and the Doctor, the entire rest of the cast was female. And I mean, so much so, I almost was sitting there going, wow, I could see some real fan fiction, some harem kind of fan fiction coming off of this one because it's all females. And
we did that too. We did a whole movie of that.
yeah, but they didn't go that hard, Ghostbusters route.
Right. Yeah, I would have been fine with the all female team. It's just they went like men bad, woman good, men bad, original Ghostbusters bad. They did everything wrong. They're horrible people, and they shouldn't have done that. If they just would have like a little more tribute, a little less hate, would have been nice.
Yeah, and I have to say they did that with the Strange New Worlds. They didn't go hate on it. It was just, it just is all female. There's no reasoning behind it. It is just is. And I accept that so much more. I mean, I can handle something that's all female as long as it's not, like you said, all female because men bad.
Yeah.
If it's all female just because it's all female, then okay, yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. Yeah, okay.
See, and this is something I know we've talked about behind the scenes or mentioned. Like we could easily bring some people on, do a whole episode talking just about how the wokeness affects conventions, how the politics affect conventions, all that stuff. So easy to go down a dark road on that.
Oh yeah,
or get hate going on it. The problem is it does become a problem. I know before the podcast I'd even mentioned about. I don't think I'm going to talk about it today because we got plenty to talk about. But the tariffs and now they're talking movie tariffs. How much that's affecting?
Well, see,
affecting.
I don't see. You had mentioned the tariffs on adult films. All right. That really doesn't affect us that much because Kansas is one of those states that basically completely banned adult films. We have no choice. Our overlords who claim that they want, small government and don't want the government interfering in people's lives sees fit to interfere in our lives and tell us what we can and cannot do. Their reasoning is for the children, yet they still won't do anything about the guns.
I don't know. I didn't hear that it was tariffs on foreign film or on
adult film. Yeah. They're coming after the adult films.
Like with De Niro did the thing. What was it, yesterday or day before yesterday, where he was bashing on Trump, and Trump put it up on Truth Social, where it's just. And I don't know the full argument because everything I read on what Trump posted was simply foreign films. So any foreign films coming in, those will get 100% tariff. Not sure how that would work with streaming works or physical, but some of the other people I've seen covering it, like a lot of people that cover the nerdy movies, Marvel stuff, they've been talking about the filming locations because like X-Men's filming in Mexico, half of them film in Canada, that kind of stuff. I don't think that's what he's referencing at all because, of course, that money is being spent in other countries, but that's not what's keeping people from going to the theaters. And his big thing is trying to get people to go to the theaters again, supposedly. And I just don't know how putting tariffs on it will work because then anything we send overseas will have retaliatory tariffs. It's still not going to make money.
And my problem here is that the big corporations, Disney and all these others, they're complaining that people aren't going to the theater, but it's their fault that people aren't going to the theater. When COVID hit, all right, they said, ooh, we'll go ahead and start streaming stuff because people can't go to the theaters. We'll start streaming stuff. So they started streaming things and they haven't stopped streaming things immediately. So what reason do I have to go and have to sit around humans who I am not the biggest fan of to begin with? Why do I need to go sit around humans when I can just wait a couple days and it's going to hit a streaming service?
Right. And I don't mean to sound like make better movies because I'm not making any movies. I can't do it. But that the thing is, a lot of the stuff I get excited about coming out on streaming. And 2 of the 3 trailers we're about to watch are both streaming, and I'm more excited about them than most of the movies coming out. And there's some good ones, but let's face it, the last couple of years we've been getting Madam Web-esque movies. I'll go, I'll just wait for it to come on streaming or YouTube or whatever and watch it because I'm not going to go take my family, buy tickets. You got to buy popcorn and all that shit. Suddenly I've spent $80 to go watch Madam Web and I knew I wasn't going to like it going in.
No. I mean, what was the last great movies that everybody said, "Ooh, you have to go watch"? Barbie, and
Barbie was actually good. I enjoyed
yeah, I
Barbie.
know, and I'm just saying that's the last ones that I remember having huge hubbub about was the Barbie one and uh, God, Heisenberg. Was it Heisenberg?
Well, yeah, not Heisenberg, or was it? Yeah, I
No.
know what you're talking about. Well, like of course, I went and watched Ghostbuster Frozen Empire last year and stuff. It's just, I don't know, like Barbie's one that wasn't on my radar either. It's just like, if it looks all right, I'll go watch it. It was very entertaining. There are certain movies in your wheelhouse. Like with me, it's comic book movies, sci-fi movies. I get excited about. Let's go watch those. And
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer, that's it. But even if they're just gonna do shit that's not for the fans, well, then the fans aren't gonna go to the movie. It's that simple. Hang on. I think it's more social justice than wokeness. Woke means being aware of it. Oops, sorry. Means being aware of it, but social justice warriors are the issue. Just my 2 cents. I think
That was from Kristen.
You're very right on that. Reason I use wokeness or say wokeness is because the term wokeness used to mean one thing, and it has morphed into something else. It has, like when it came out, it was a good term. Is that like the being awake, opening my eyes to what's going on kind of thing. Now I think it has totally morphed into other things, and that's how the language works. It just words change over time, their meaning. But the theater experience itself. Let's see, this from Kristen. The theater experience itself has also gotten so commercialized. I was disgusted going to see Wicked that I am not sure I even want to go back to a physical theater ever again.
And thank you for that, Kristen. Yes, there was a big hubbub made about Wicked. So that was another movie but that was last year.
Well, it was still going on through the beginning of this year, and then you just had Minecraft where everybody's doing the freaking lava chicken and
Minecraft. That was more of that was a flash in the pan. That didn't have true theater staying power like Wicked or Oppenheimer or Barbie did. I mean, those kept asses in the seat for weeks, if not months.
Yeah, I'm just talking that theater experience where you go to the theater. Like I know with Wicked, a lot of people are complaining about all the theater kids singing and dancing during the show or something, to where they'd have to put up signs, please don't sing during the show, that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, I would have definitely requested my money back.
Oh, and some of those videos I saw of people with Minecraft, I'm a pretty easygoing guy. There's a couple videos I saw where I'm like, if that would have happened next to me, somebody would have been getting punched in the face. We would have been having a fall in the theater. Oh man, I thought we covered some of that on here, but like when Lava Chicken would happen in the movie, the theater will go nuts. Like people are throwing popcorn in the air, everybody's screaming, people are jumping on each other's shoulders. Yeah, just Google it. It's just go to YouTube, put in like Lava Chicken, Minecraft. And they wait till that point in the movie, and then they just go fucking insane. And this is coming from a guy that did Rocky Horror on the regular for years. But we were the guys that we would clean up the theater when we were done. We would stay afterwards and clean, and because we were so appreciative the theater would let us do this shit there. And with this, it got to where people were just destroying theaters, where like theater owners were begging people to stop. And the problem theater owners were having was that was the only movie people were going to watch at the time. Movies were getting pulled from theaters because just nobody was watching them, but people were watching Minecraft. So then they had to debate whether do we risk the damage to make the money, or do we pull the one movie that's making money out? Chicken Jockey, thank you. Lava Chicken was the song. I apologize, but Kelly, you're right. It was Chicken Jockey. Kristen says Regal has an actual display with pop figures and keychains and popcorn buckets and T-shirts. Yeah, I know we talked about that a couple weeks ago on here too, where the sale of pop, and I say this with having fucking popcorn buckets and drink things and anything. Star Trek Ghostbusters are great examples. Star Wars, anytime they can release different things. Being a collector, I've had to go to multiple theaters just to get the popcorn bucket that theater has compared to the Regal popcorn bucket, to whatever posters that they're giving away at the other theater.
What started that fad? I mean, here recently, it was just only a couple of years ago that some popcorn bucket was some top thing and everybody went blotto about it. Which one was that?
I know Dune did the one.
No, Dune was not the one, though.
First. Trying to remember. Now, the first Deadpool had giveaways and shit.
Well, see, Deadpool had fun with it because they made it like, yeah.
Trying to think of what the first is, because, and that's the problem. Like, my fandom here, Ghostbusters, they overdo it, like so much so to where I'm like, there's stuff I've given up on. I'm just not going to collect it. There's so many different popcorn buckets. Ones you can only get through mail order. Ones you can. It's too much shit.
Yeah.
And it's just like a way to make money off of. It's like selling toys at the event or at the theater, and I do like the neat new things, but the new movies coming out, they're already going to give me a million other things to go buy if I want to try to collect that stuff. But Kristen says, plus Regal stopped cleaning the theaters. We did not have any issues with singing during Wicked or any of that stuff. Okay, that's good. Well, I don't watch Minecraft that there was no chicken jockey issues or anything. But then again, I know other people that they were the problem, So, you looking at chicken jockey up?
No, I'm looking for what movie popcorn bucket started the recent fad.
Yeah, because before that,
it might be Dune Part 2. You might be right.
Before that, what we had, and I know because I just, I still buy and resell geeky shit all the time. So my son just picked up like a whole box of the like Taco Bell, McDonald's. When Episode 1 of Star Wars came out, they had the cups with the like Jar Jar Binks on top and shit. A whole box, like a big box, and I went ahead and priced on. If I sold everything together, I could maybe luckily get $100 because it's a full set. But you take one of those items out, and then suddenly it's a $60 set. Take two of those items out, suddenly it's a $40 set.
I had the was it the 2009 Star Trek movie, the glasses that you would get from, I think it was Arby's. And I had the full 4 set. You had Uhura, you had Kirk, Spock, and Nero, the bad guy.
Oh, okay.
And I unboxed them. They were in the cabinet, and I'm not saying who used them and broke them all, but I will say my family. And of course, the only one left is Nero. The least one.
The one that you could care less. It's not like he was a character before that movie or something.
Yeah, it's like if you would have broke that one, I would have been fine.
Well, and I think that's how it probably a lot of that started. Is back in the day, instead of getting the popcorn buckets, we would go to Arby's and get the Return of the Jedi cups or the back in our day we had glassware and cool shit. Now it's some plastic trinket at McDonald's. But
I'm trying to remember. Even back in our day, we had first off, your jellies and jams came in glass jars.
Yes,
and those glass jars had the Flintstones on them or whatever. I mean, there was movie tie-ins, all kinds of stuff, and those were collectible. And you used them as glasses because we was all poor.
Kristen says I have 80s Camp Snoopy and Smurfs glasses. Well, and that's the thing. I think we all, depending on the generation, because I had my generation of like the Return of Jedi cups and all that shit, and we had like Mickey Mouse spoons and shit you got. And then my kids' generation, where we had like the Pizza Hut, like Hercules plastic plates, which I think most people had. Like they were everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And it seems like the quality is just dipped and dipped and dipped to where now I've got some Ghostbuster shit here. It came out, like I think it was Arby's and stuff. It's all just like plastic dollar store kind of shit,
Okay, not to age myself, but I'm going to age myself. I experienced that growing, when I became an adult, and I went back to get some Cracker Jacks.
Okay.
And Cracker Jacks used to have some cool toys. They used to have some cool stuff, cool little things in there. Sometimes you'd get a little compass. There were little things you would get in the Cracker Jack box. Now,
the young me thought was cool, but yeah.
But now it's all just. I mean, at least last time I was getting them, it's all temporary tattoos.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that.
Yeah, just the cheapest thing that they could get, temporary tattoos. There you go.
Kelly says, I have the entire Pepsi Looney Tune glasses, all variants. And,
oh, wow.
in fairness, Kelly kind of buys and sells stuff like that a lot too, but he's a big Wile E. Coyote guy. So I've seen some of his cool shit.
Yeah, the only problem with that was it's Pepsi, so that's evil.
We've been talking nonstop. I've barely hit any news. We're almost an hour in. This is why we're revamping and doing a format. I'm gonna just hit my news real quick because I would like to at least hit one or two of those trailers.
Please.
Let's see. We kind of hit the tariffs.
The tariff thing. You know that they, as of today, they have the stuff coming from China tariff that was 145%. They've dropped it down to 30%.
I did see they dropped a lot of them, and that does
but
help.
It's only for 90 days.
And that's the problem with a lot of the vendors, because like even Anime Fest, we've had vendors that have been with us for years, like decades. And some of them are like, I just can't do it anymore. Or some of them are like, we don't know what the prices are going to be because so many people are pricing things anticipating what's going to happen instead of what's actually happening. So, I mean, I know of 3 vendors we've had for years that just flat out said, we just can't do it anymore. You know, so they're not only are they out of business, but then that means we got to find more vendors on the year. We're expanding the vendor room.
Well, I'm sorry, but part of me goes, well, maybe we might have some vendors that have more than just drop shipped Temu crap.
Right. And unfortunately, in all the con industry, anime is real bad about it. All the con industry, last couple events we've talked about this. I think you and I have, where so much of the shit, it's just like, yeah, no, that's just like they're just buying all their shit and reselling it. There is no making. And even with some of the 3D printing booths where they make shit that we see, we go, we know the ones we like because so many of them are printing the exact same shit. All the free stuff off of Thingiverse, shit that they're not supposed to be reselling. Nobody's got like unique stuff or things that they've painted. I shouldn't say nobody. Some do. Those are the ones
some do.
Like. But yeah, conventions in general, like Comic Cons, I go to so many anymore. I'm just like, it's the same old shit. And really, if I just go home and hop on Amazon, I can get the exact same thing for half the price.
Yeah.
Where I want to support the local people, but and if you look like, oh shit, I sure hope I didn't lose it. I wore my embroidered Ghostbuster towel the other night. I bought that because that was something that a local vendor made, and that's the kind of stuff I'd like to support more than just everybody going, hey, did you get the 5th version of the Ecto that just released last week from Hasbro? Yeah, I like that, but I like the things a little better. Like if I could buy that Slimer the Hut, I'd buy that.
Sometimes it's just down to the point. Yeah, this time they put all season treads on the tires, so that's the difference. The difference is now it's a radial instead of a white wall.
100%. We had that talk a lot at the theater the other night where we're comparing stuff, and everybody's going like, is that the 87 version or the 95 version? Like, the only reason you can tell is you put them next to each other, and the 95 slightly bigger than the 87 version.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's the same fucking thing. And then we buy it just so we can say, I got both versions of that one, you know?
Oh, hell. Like I can say anything. Some of my models, they've been using the same damn molds to crank out the models since the 1970s. I mean, there's one that I have. I'm looking straight at it. It is so well known that one is I mean, and they don't even, like, they have a new stand for it because the old stand sucked. They still put the old stand in the box because it's part of the mold that they print out. So it's still in the freaking box because they've never changed the molds. It is more convenient for them just to keep printing the same mold instead of changing it.
Yeah, just go to an Ollie's and you'll see 800 things where they using the same molds and they just repackaged it for like the sequel movie or something.
Oh,
like
yeah.
It's the same Black Panther figure. They just, now it's in a Black Panther 2 container, you know, and that kind of shit.
Oh, yeah.
Let me hit these real quick so we can maybe hit these trailers. They gave us our first look at Tila from the He-Man movie today, or yesterday, I think it was. And I'm glad Kelly's on here because I wanted to see if he's seen it and what he thought. Because I thought she looked good. I get the costume's not as sexy as normal, but I think she looks sexier on screen right now than on the on animated. But I think the new stuff that I've seen for He-Man in this last batch that came out is looking pretty good. But then again, I am not so He-Man fanatic that like I have a casual affinity for it. but not like, oh, just like the announcement for the Transformers G.I. Joe movie they did. I'm excited to see it, but I'm not like holding my breath or anything. Okay, yep. So those are the costumes, or the costume. I can't remember her name. The girl from Riverdale. They went ahead and gave her leggings, which a lot of fans are complaining about, because if you look in the picture to the far right, I know those listening can't see it. I'm sorry, but you can see the kind of swimsuit line on her rear there.
Yeah.
There down, like that is almost authentic to the like action figures, but from there down, it would be all just like naked thigh, which would be great. But I want to take my kids to see this too.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing is, a part of me is that whole thing of realistic armor and outfits for women.
Mm-hmm.
I am 100% behind that. It's like I still don't understand why in sports women have to wear skimpy outfits. I mean, if that was actually beneficial for their performance, the men would be wearing the same skimpy outfits.
My brother and I talked about this a little bit, where if you watched Wreck-It Ralph,
Wreck-It Ralph,
yeah, the girl in there that ends up with Hammer Henry or whatever his name is, but the girl in like the power armor and stuff, Jane Lynch is the voice. Tim and I have said like that girl in power armor with the voice of a 60-year-old woman is sexier than half the shit they put in X-Men movies lately. Like something about a girl with a big gun and power. It's like almost like Tank Girl, even though she's skimpy half the time. The idea of a girl that could just come up, kick your ass, and doesn't give a shit about looking good or anything, that is almost more appealing than some girl who's got like cleavage down to here and shit.
Yeah, so much. I mean, and yeah, it just irritates me. And what irritates me even more is like, what was it? I think it was was it the last Olympics? Some team had the women for whatever, I think it was volleyball or whatever. They said, no, we're going to wear normal outfits. We're not going to wear this, this underwear that you have for us. They literally, the Olympic Committee wanted to just completely get rid of them. No, you cannot even compete. You're banned, just because they wouldn't wear the skimpy outfit.
Really?
For true. And then like a whole bunch of people stood up, with them, and I'm with them 100%.
I'm on board with that too, because like it's pretty much underwear they're wearing out there.
Yes.
But I could see like there needs to be a regulation, and I'm sure there is regulation what you could wear. Like if they just come out there with something that's like super baggy and it's not gonna, then people are bitching. I got sand in my shorts or whatever the fuck. I don't know. I can't think of anything they'd bitch about. If there were a reason.
I mean, okay, here's my point. If any of the athletes are from a Muslim country, all of a sudden they get to wear something that covers.
Yeah.
And nobody has a problem with it.
That makes total sense.
But if the young female hotties from Sweden want to cover up, oh no, we can't do that.
That it's, I guess it's damned if you do, done if you don't, because it's got brought up with movies. It's like X-Men: The Apocalypse, when they had Psylocke in there, and they went ahead and gave her like the cleavage and all the shit like in the comic book.
Yeah.
And that's what everybody said. That's what we want. That's what we want.
No, we don't.
Fans, wanted it and it looked good, but then when it happened, people bitched, and they're like, well, yeah, they're just showing off her cleavage so people will come watch her tits in the movie, and it's like,
yeah,
it's what y'all. That's why they draw it that way in the comic book. I'm definitely on board with the changing some costumes, but you got to pay tribute to the original. But if you did Scarlet Witch the way she is in the comic book, or used to be in the comic book, compared to the way they're doing it in the movie, it'd be like watching softcore porn.
Didn't Captain Marvel, didn't she have a boob window?
No, that's Power Girl from
Power
DC.
Girl. Sorry,
yeah, and they're talking about putting her in the new DCEU and making her boob window like itty bitty, which
Kelly's like, I like to see cleavage anytime. Well,
I like seeing it, but when I'm out at a movie with my family, it's hard. I don't want to be looking at it and my wife looking over at me, watching my eyes bug out, or
My problem is I look at it and I go, why? I mean, especially when it comes to a superhero who's fighting and flying at high speed, why is that your costume choice?
Now with Power Girl, they actually gave an excuse, and they retconned the excuse for. I think she absorbs more sun rays or something that way, or some bullshit. And it was one of those things that I remember when it happened in the comics.
Okay.
Whatever.
Then why is Superman not going around in a Speedo?
He has, but yeah.
Well, okay. In your fan fiction, yes,
he's in skin tight clothes with underwear on the outside. But yeah, that women in comics, especially in the 90s, man, holy shit, in the 90s.
Oh God, it was atrocious.
It was yeah. So I want to watch these, and we're already in. The only other thing I'm going to lightly mention, because I want to do this on an episode at some point soon. The scam events that have been coming out lately, like we talked about the Willy Wonka event that was so bad. I don't know if you remember that, where like people were paying big money and it was just like some props.
Oh yeah,
yeah, the Methuselah. There was a Bridgerton one that went real bad. Just this week we had another one that was like a romance novel convention. And as somebody that runs conventions, holy shit, I could talk for an hour on that. And there is such a big trend right now of people just going, I can run a con, and then being like these disastrous cons. So I think I want to get Randy or somebody on here and talk about that exact subject. How cons, the future of cons right now is going two directions. People who are doing anybody can run a con. Let's just make it happen and doing shit events. And then we're getting these big events that are going from state to state. And the landscape of conventions is definitely changing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that needs talked about, but that's needs more time. Oh shit! And I had video game stuff to talk about another time. We should watch these trailers.
All right,
if you're cool with it.
Which one do we want to do first?
Do the Superman before you do the Peacemaker. So this will be the second Superman trailer.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Are you being serious right now?
Yeah.
You'd let me interview you as Superman.
Sure.
Ready?
Let's do it, Cronkite.
Superman.
Miss Lane.
Recently, you've come under a lot of fire for what some might.
A lot of fire.
It's a lot. Today, the Secretary of Defense said he was going to look into your actions. That's funny.
My actions? I stopped a war.
Maybe.
Not maybe. I did.
In effect, you illegally entered a country.
This is how you're going to be?
I'm not the one being interviewed, Superman. Did you consult with the president?
No.
You seemingly acting as a representative of
I
the
wasn't
United States
representing
will cause
anybody
more
except for me
problems around the world.
and doing good.
I would question myself in the same situation and consider the consequences.
People were going to die. Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Your choices, your actions. That's what makes you who you are.
Superman. He's not a man. He's an it. He's somehow become the focal point of the entire world's conversation. I will not accept that.
I cleaned your boots. I'll go get them for you. dog.
So, what'd you think?
Was the dog in the capsule with him?
No, the dog comes later. Well, I don't know how they're doing it in the movie.
No, okay.
No, Superman had a horse, a parrot, a dog. He had all that.
Yeah.
Most, yeah.
Here's okay. One. Okay, no, I'm not even going to go down that path because that path is just me bitching. But two is
I'm super curious now, but go ahead.
Yeah, we'll talk about that
Yeah.
later. I don't need to bring that negativity out. Two, the thing is once again, they're starting with a big save the world thing. Where do you go to from there? I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, this is a big spectacle. All right, we're all supposed to know backstory here because if we don't know the backstory, then there's a whole lot going on here that we have, that they're going to try to shoehorn in, and it's going to be crappy. So we're going to go ahead and assume that they're assuming that the entire population of people watching this know all of his backstory. All right. So we don't have to deal with that. All right. Uncle Ben doesn't have to die again.
Right.
All right. So, but okay, even with like the first Superman with Christopher Reeves, all right. That one, he just had to stop a couple nukes. All right. Granted, he had to fly backwards in time and all the stuff like that, but he just did that for one person. If she hadn't have died, he would have let everybody else just, roasty toasty. But all he had to do was just stop a couple nukes. All right. This one, they're bringing in more. I mean, this is like the standard problem that you have where you're just inundated with baddies.
Marvel has this issue too with so many.
Yeah, they have this issue now where it's just baddie, and you have no way to get any kind of emotional involvement in any of the conflicts because there's going to be too many conflicts, and the resolutions are just going to be weird on them. I think they did too much. If that would have been a trailer for a 3-movie set. I think, okay, yeah, I could see how they would have all those baddies, all that stuff going on, all the conflict, all the things like that in multiple movies. But all of that shoehorned into one movie?
Well, and there's my too much worry is character-wise. There are a lot of characters in it, and we didn't even see about half of them in that. There are still characters that are confirmed that are in it. Some great casting, they're still there. So they're going to be fitting. I don't know how they're going to fit everything in that movie, but the idea is this movie has to do good because it's the intro. I mean, this is the intro. It's not the first thing, but it is really the intro to the DCEU for James Gunn. So this has to do good. So, I'd say
put too much into it. There's too much in there. It's going to be way too busy. There's going to be stories that aren't fleshed out. There's going to be stories that aren't going to end. I mean, there's not going to be the proper resolution. There's going to be way too many loose ends, and there's going to be way too much just quickly just nailed in and gone.
Well,
it's too
my
much.
concern there is like Marvel. If you remember that first fucking 10 years, at least first 8 years they were out, like each movie was an individual movie that would make references to the other movies.
Yes.
Now what they do with everything Marvel is, hey, this is all going to tie right in, and if you want to keep the storyline going, you have to watch the other movie.
Yep.
That kind of thing. I think they need to do it the way Marvel started out. I do really like the conversation between Lois Lane and Superman, though, that like, did you even think you're representing all that thing? That's a conversation we would all have at con or on here where we'd be like, Superman just flew in there and their government should be able to bitch about that. And,
Well, and here's my problem too is when I was watching that part, I was like, okay, for pacing for the trailer, they had to cut that really tight together where we're just question, fuck you. All right. And that was just, how it was presented for the trailer. But then I see everything else that they're going to try to put into this movie. Maybe that was a shot for shot of that damn interview, and it's going to be crammed in that hard.
It could be. It could be. I don't know. I think really my biggest concern with the movie, it looks like it's going to be good. My biggest concern is that people won't like it because right now, comic book fans are bitching about everything. That Spider-Man Noir, they're bitching about like crazy. Problem is, we had Henry Cavill, and to me, Henry Cavill, that's such a good Superman.
Yeah.
Now I look at this guy; he's looking good. He's looking fine. Don't really have any complaints on him. But every time I see him, and when I watch something on him, like with Cookie around or something, we both say the same thing as could have been Cavill. You know,
Yeah.
it's like you're comparing everything to your last girlfriend, you know, or something.
Cavill was the first good Superman that we've had since Christopher Reeves.
I will agree with that. We've had some decent Superman. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
decent, but not
Makes you
iconic.
excited about Superman, like
Yeah.
embodies Superman. Yeah, I agree with that.
Not iconic. I mean,
Yeah.
and just like God, who was the Spider-Man in the first?
Tobey Maguire
Yeah, Toby.
and the Sam
Tobey
Raimi.
Maguire. Until we got this new Spider-Man, all the other ones, I was like, okay, this is ass. Garfield, I'm sorry, he's okay guy, but he's not
Garfield came
Spider-Man.
after Tobey Maguire, but yeah.
Yeah.
I was never a fan of any of the Garfield movies, the Amazing Spider-Man ones.
Yeah,
They-
I wasn't a fan of his, but it's just I'm sorry. I think this movie is just going to be as something where they just basically they had all these ideas, then they loaded them into a shotgun, and then they fired it off, and then they sent an intern out there to pick up the pieces. All right, and then whatever order the intern got it, they're going to stick that together, and just whatever they can get in one handful. All right, it's just going to be one handful of pickup. Then they're going to go ahead and try to piece that all together, and then all the other good stuff that could have filled out another 2 or 3 movies is just going to be left there on the shooting range.
Yeah, well, I could definitely see that. The thing that makes me think it won't be that way is because it's James Gunn. James Gunn is a hardcore. I'm not saying hardcore comic book fan. He's a hardcore DC fan. And so far, everything he's done for DC, I am totally in love with. Creature Commandos, fucking awesome. Peacemaker, one of my favorite superhero shows, and it is nothing like the comic books. Which we're about to watch that Peacemaker one real quick because it kind of ties into this because some of the same characters are in that movie are in Peacemaker. Kristen sounds like she's agreeing with us on the Marvel stuff, but says there's also been Superman TVs or TV Superman. Yeah, and a number of them, and I count those.
Yeah.
And there's been some decent ones. None of the TV Superman have hit me that I think that they're good for the most part. None of them are
iconic.
Body it as much as Reeves or Cavill have.
Yes.
I don't feel. Even when they did that, the Arrowverse, where they go through and they just hitting every Superman they can, it like Tom.
And I am so tired of the multiverse. I am
yeah.
tired of the multiverse.
Yeah, I think everybody is. I almost can't wait for Secret Wars to be over with. But let's hit that Peacemaker real quick.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen first season of Peacemaker, but
Oh yes, I have.
Okay.
All right.
They're going to be doing backflips to get you to John.
Welcome, Peacemaker, or do you prefer Chris?
Either's fine.
Can you tell us a little about your skills?
I'm considered the finest marksman in the world.
Mic is off.
Yeah.
I am also proficient in hand-to-hand combat.
How many more of these do we have today?
Is that popcorn still here?
Love popcorn.
My buzz is getting really big lately, so.
I have a variety of helmets.
This guy sucks.
Excuse me, am I supposed to be able to hear you guys?
Excuse me?
You were talking about your butt and stuff. And also, you said that I suck.
It is not funny.
I don't get it. We saved the world.
thought the villain would finally treat us like heroes.
I don't need anybody else to just forge my own path.
You're living in the worst level of Grand Theft Auto.
I've come to the conclusion you suffer from a particularly severe form of toxic masculinity.
What?
Argus has been monitoring Peacemaker ever since Rick Flag Sr. was named director.
Does he know that I am?
Kill this time? Yep.
Bring me Peacemaker.
Mexicali, you scan for any anomalies throughout that house. Pony boy, don't let him out of your sight. Titties, I want you to take the front door. Encino man, you take the back door. Got it?
Yeah, but not the fucking names, dude. You can't just call us that.
Where do you think we are? Fucking Berkeley?
We haven't always been great people. But
We are the 11th Street Kids. No one will ever break us apart.
you ready for the next adventure, pal?
Keep on keeping on.
Who the fuck are you?
See, I'm excited for that. Are you?
That I'm excited for.
Yeah.
That looked good.
The
All right.
Christy
You
watching.
know, if the Superman trailer had looked like that, I would be pre-ordering my freaking ticket from AMC.
Yeah,
all right.
see, and that's James Gunn again. And
But something's different. You know, somebody has their fingers in one that they shouldn't have.
he has 100% control of Peacemaker. Just
That's
saying.
it. That's it.
That, and I think Creature Commandos is another one he's got 100% control on. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when sometimes in Hollywood, if they just let the fucking people that know what they're doing do it, it would be great. Kristen said, "Oh my, they're bringing Nathan Fillion back into something for DC." Yeah,
Yep.
he's going to be playing the same Guy Gardner character he's playing in the Superman movie. It sounds like he's going to be sticking around, and he's probably going to be joining them in because they're making a Green Lantern Corps TV show as well, streaming show.
Okay.
And it sounds like he's going to be joining them in that. And even if he just comes in as little cameos, but I hope they use him more because Nathan Fillion's humor with John Cena's humor, I think that could be.
Oh God, yeah, they would play so well off of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looked just awesome.
And Christy's watching it, and she's all excited, and she goes, "Of course, this is my wife saying it," but she goes, "They didn't have John Cena in his underwear." And in that last scene, of course, he comes in his underwear. It's like, oh God, I couldn't have timed that better. But yeah, I'm glad that they're bringing in characters. I mean, now I know that those characters don't die in Superman, but you knew they wouldn't anyway.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, that looks good. The music's always good. I just don't see him screwing that up. They got a bunch of good actors in it. And I can't remember his name, but dude, they cast for Rick Flag. Holy crap, that is a good casting. I can't wait to see him and Cena fucking go at it.
Oh yeah.
But, I mean, they killed him in Suicide Squad. Oh yeah, they killed Nathan Fillion in the Suicide Squad that James Gunn did.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he was
detachable arm guy.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Fillion, he has gotten so screwed on every comic book movie. You know, he was originally
except for
Hammer.
Dr. Horrible.
Dr. Horrible, yeah.
When he was the Hammer.
When they cast him as Wonder Man, I was like, that is perfect casting. And then they cut him for Iron Man 3. And they cut him, and that just pissed me off so bad. And then now we're getting I don't know. I hope the guy's good. It's going to be the guy that played Black Manta in Aquaman. He is playing Wonder Man, but I just don't know if he's got the comedy chops for it. Never saw the first season. Kelly, I think you would like it. Lot of fucking 80s rock music in it. A lot of just bad jokes, bad DC references. I mean, they fight Starro from like Justice League with the starfish with the big eye.
Hold on, no. That wasn't season 1.
Oh no, that was Suicide Squad. Sorry, that was Suicide Squad. They fight the fucking moths and stuff in this one. That's right.
Yeah. It was so well done. I mean, from the get go. I watched episode 1 without having watched Suicide Squad, and after I got done with episode 1, I was like, okay, now I got to watch Suicide Squad to see what the hell I missed. All right, and then I was like, okay, now I'm caught up. Now I can finish off, and I did. I binged it. It was great.
Yeah, it's a straight up continuation of Suicide Squad, but you don't have to watch Suicide Squad to get anything in it, because the things they reference it, so you totally understand like who died or whatever. Yeah, they do a good job with it. And it's a good comedic detach from all the other DC stuff they've had. Like, it is a comedy in my mind.
It's a comedy, but at the same time, it has heart.
Yeah.
I mean, when he breaks down, I think it was in the first episode, he breaks down and cries. All right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I feel that. All right. I actually, he's not a pretty crier either. That was an ugly cry. All right. I felt it.
Well, and his character is so confident and unconfident at the same time. He doesn't have like Superman confidence, but he has that like the arrogance. I'm Peacemaker. I can do this and this and this. And then there's always that kind of like, even though he knows he's a badass, he doesn't quite fit in. And I think they address that in this trailer too. Like he doesn't quite fit in. He's like that outcast superhero. And that's how he was in the comics. He was a nobody in the comics. No,
his hubris is almost delusional. But the thing is it's not delusional, because when he's faced with the reality of it, he recognizes the reality of it, but still he does not let that stop him. He is the epitome of, I'm going to get knocked down, but it's not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get back up. And that's what he does, is he gets up one more time than he is knocked down.
Well, and everybody has a arc in it. Like, they actually show him where he goes from this bad side of anti-hero to an actual hero. They do a good job with that. And Vigilante, who I did like in the comics, Peacemaker I did not, but Vigilante in the comics, he is 10 times better in the series.
Good. I like him in the series.
Yeah, they got rid of a little of his, I think because Peacemaker's like this too, a little of the like, well, I don't want you talking, so I'll just shoot you kind of attitude.
Yeah.
That just destructive. They got rid of that, but they gave him that comedy kind of, the comedy chops, and they gave him that where he looks up to Peacemaker.
Yeah.
And the actor they got for it plays it. Like, if you were asking me beforehand, they said, here's the guy we cast as Vigilante, and here's how he's going to act, I'd be like, you guys are fucking it up. You're messing up a good character.
If I did not know, the story and the characters, from having watched it, and that's all I have. I have not read any comic books. I am the quintessential.
You don't need to for this.
Yeah, just watching it. If I did not know that they were not siblings, I would think that was an older brother and a younger brother. I would straight up, just the way they behave, the way that they act, the way they talk to each other. Don't be a fucking idiot. I mean, just that whole thing. They're siblings. That is a whole sibling dynamic there.
And the younger one looks up to the bigger one.
Yes.
Yeah, I could see that definitely. Yeah, no, I'm excited for that.
More
so than I am almost any other DC project coming out right now. But
that was a trailer that thank you for showing me that trailer. Thank you.
Good.
All right, let's watch the last one.
30 seconds, and then we'll be call it after that.
All right. Here we go.
Have you seen it out there? The city's a mess. The people could use a hero. I hope they find someone.
So teaser, full force.
That's what a teaser should be.
There's a lot more footage out there. Like I said, I don't know if I can find the right thing, but go out there.
That gives me real feelings of God. What was that? So CGI movie. There was the one and then the two. God, Bruce Willis was in it.
Sin City.
Sin City. Yes, that was so much Sin City.
Yeah, it very much looks like Sin City. Like they are emulating that hardcore, and they're going to release it in both black and white and color, kind of like they did with Werewolf by Night. So I don't know how it's going to work, but I guess you can just choose whether you watch the black and white or color one. It looks like black and white's the way to go for all the footage I've seen and stuff. It's going to give it more of that look to it.
Well, they should do like they did with Sin City and have it mostly black and white, just with color pop.
I think that's what they're doing, but I can't be certain. And it's gonna be one of those series where you don't have to have read the comics. You don't have to, it's not going to tie into this. Even the movie he's in, the Spider-Verse movies.
Yeah,
it's not tying into that. It's not tying into anything. It's its own standalone series. You don't even have to know the background. It's just basically Spider-Man and his villains in the 1920s and different origin story. Spider-Man.
So finally, Nick Cage finally gets to play a superhero, huh?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, technically,
he's been jonesing to do that ever since he auditioned in a full Superman outfit.
Oh, he was Superman. That was happening. When I watched an interview with him, I guess, they put him in that last Flash movie, and he was all CGI. He didn't even get to see it until he saw the movie. So technically he's in the movie, but the way I understand, they didn't even use scans off of him or nothing. They just had they did it, and then they're like, hey, got permission to use his likeness or whatever. Yeah. And then he went and saw it in the movie, and it's like, well, technically I'm in it, but I had nothing to do with it. Like,
you don't get the thrill of it. You don't get to feel like you're a part of it.
Yeah, the thing with the Spider-Man Noir that probably will comment on is this one, the fans are unfairly harking on it hard. And I think, I was telling Christy, I think what it is there's so many critics out there that are doing comic book podcasts and the YouTube channels and stuff, and they're all getting a little full of themselves.
Yes.
To where they're just tearing everything down.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going like even here as we're talking about the Superman movie, we're like, it still looks good. Like, I'm excited for it, but here's some things I'm worried about. But we're not going, fucking James Gunn's turned it to shit or nothing like that. And people are hitting the Spider-Man Noir hard on that. And I honestly think what it is there's so many of them that are like, well, if I say it's good and it's bad, then after it comes out, then it makes me look like I don't know what I'm talking about. So I lose credibility. But if I say it's bad and it's good, then I can just act like I'm a hardcore comic fan that I've always preferred the source material better. It's like an ego thing. And
I personally think what it is because I've noticed this a lot with other things that I've been interested in, that I go and do research, and a lot of YouTube research, because that's the society that we have now, is we all go and watch videos. But it's the standard: if it bleeds, it leads. If you're saying something divisive, then you get the clicks through. It's like if you have that if you have that whatever you call it, where you've got that gotcha headline to it,
it's some kind of controversial headline,
just something like oh you'll never believe what happened next, that kind of crap like that. That if it says something like that, that is a guarantee anymore that I'm not going to click on it. It could be giving me the freaking lottery numbers. I am not clicking on that damn thing.
Yeah, like they're destroying the new whatever, or somebody collapsed during filming, and so you're watching it and you're like, they didn't collapse. They just said, it's getting really we're getting real tired out here. And that and I watched a 15-minute video because I thought fucking Bruce Campbell fell down on set. No.
And that's like one of the things that I do is because on YouTube you have where you can have an AI, so you can ask the AI about the video. All right. So there was one video that I was watching, and it was saying something about, there's a huge number of pre-orders for that Slate truck I told you about. There's a huge number of pre-orders for that Slate truck coming in. And I was like, and it said that in the title, or you won't believe the number of pre-orders. So I went down first to the AI summary, and I asked it, I was like, okay, how many pre-orders is it? Oh, the person never comes out and says how many pre-orders are there. They just allude that a lot of them have been happening. I'm like, well, then why even watch it? And I think that's a lot of this going on is people think that if they give negative reviews and if they do horrible stuff, they get the clicks in and they get the view count, which unfortunately they do because that's the way we humans are wired.
Kristen had the right phrasing there. Rage bait is what it is. Yeah.
Clickbait headlines. Thank
Yeah.
you very much, Kristen. Clickbait. I hate clickbait.
Yeah, in the Sin City and Watchmen mix, I could see that. I mean, he's got Spider Noir has a very Rorschach look to him, like Rorschach.
I was feeling the Sin City and the Watchmen, but I was also feeling some 300 in there too.
Oh yeah, well, 300 was made in that same kind of way. Yeah, with the So I don't know. It's one of those. I think it'll be fun watch. I'm not like sitting on the edge of my seat for it, like I am with Peacemaker or even some of the other stuff DC's got coming out. Because even Marvel, there's not much they got coming out here anytime soon that I'm super excited on. You know, probably till the next Avengers movie. Ironheart looks like utter trash to me, unfortunately. But then again, I don't know. It's another one of those two people are review bombing it like crazy.
Well, and that's the thing is right now. I mean, I'm sorry. As much as the last 2 decades have been, has been our time. It's been geek time. It's all of this. Yeah, it's been good to be a geek these last 2 decades, but I'm starting to feel like they've really run it into the ground.
I've talked about this in therapy where there's a number of things now that sometimes now some of it they burn shit in the ground and I'm just like wash my hands of it. I don't want to be part of it. Another thing is we're living locally. We're living one of those times we talk about every 8 years you get this new guard of people coming in who are like, I've never really done a lot of conventions, but now I'm like really into it, and they don't know everything's been happening before, so they're like, I'm here to save the day and make everything awesome. Mm-hmm. And then you got to deal with all this new influx of people that some movie has triggered or something. We're getting that right now real hard, so it's very discouraging. And then so much of it's the been there, done that. We've talked about this a lot with like gaming. Like you go to Gaming Con or something, people talk about D&D and different things, and you're like, I can tell whoever you're talking to, like you've played for like the last 2 years, and that's great. So much of the things you're talking about, they're like, why aren't you doing this? Or why aren't you just like building this thing or making this thing? It's like, well, I have, or we all have.
Right.
Those of us have been doing forever. We've done this shit so many times that eventually you're just kind of like, I'm just not excited about it anymore. And it's not that you don't like it. It's just like Marvel movies. If they just keep pumping out a lot of the same shit and they're not giving us anything new, then it's just the same shit.
Well, and here's the thing, like going back to Spider-Man and Uncle Ben dying. All right. We have complained so much about Uncle Ben dying, us old guard have, that they've stopped showing Uncle Ben dying.
Right.
All right. But I'd say within the next 10 years, they're going to have this whole crop of people that they're going to be like, well, they don't know the backstory, so we need to have Uncle Ben die again.
Yeah, we'll get a whole movie just about the murder of Batman's parents.
Yeah.
A whole movie.
But this time, Uncle Ben's not going to be dying in some old Oldsmobile. He's going to be dying in a Prius.
Well, right? That's the other thing they're doing. It's driving me nuts, where it's like, oh, we don't have to tell that story again. Everybody's getting tired of these certain origin stories over and over, so we're going to change them. And that bothers me. Like, oh, no, it's Aunt May in the Marvel Universe is a great example. Aunt May is now hot. Aunt May now does the great power comes with great responsibility. Uncle Ben has almost nothing to do with Spider-Man's story at all.
Yeah.
And he was the pivotal part of Spider-Man's story in every other version.
Yeah, he was the one that gave Spider-Man his morality.
So I think some of that stuff, like they're probably doing with the new Fantastic Four movie, where I don't think we're going to see a big origin story. I think we're going to hear about the origin story, but we're not going to watch the whole, like the first 30 minutes is them getting their powers and learning how to use them bullshit.
Right.
And I'm okay with that. And they could do that. But when they come in and go, well, let's just change it all, that doesn't sit right with me. It's like, nah, you can just not focus on that part of the story as hard.
All right. While we're sitting here, I'm looking at the calendar.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Calendar. Yep.
Let's do a soft calendar setup for the Burrow.
Okay.
All right. Not next week. That's too soon.
That is too soon.
All right. So there's the 28th, the last week of the last Wednesday of May,
Mm-hmm.
the 4th of June, or the 11th of June. I don't want to push it too much further out than that.
I'm kind of leaning toward 4th of June.
4th
we
of
need to
June?
check with Cookie on that. And,
all right.
And I'd even like to reach out to some of the people that used to regularly come to the podcast, because I'd like to make sure some of our friends are there.
Right.
Just to kind of say, because if it makes a difference between last weekend of May or 11th of June, where we get more people. Yeah. But yeah, whatever. I kind of like the idea of the first weekend of the month, because then we could just go first week of the month. We're going to be up at the borough hanging out. Anybody wants to come up, have dinner, talking live person. Awesome.
I think that would be a good idea. I'm putting it in right now as a soft, so we can
check with the
let
borough.
me see here. Yeah, of course we have to verify with them. This is that's a must, because they kind of own the place.
Right. And I should say, because I said this at the beginning when we were just setting up and getting going, Cookie said to tell everybody hi.
Hi, Cookie.
Yeah.
Now, are we looking at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock?
7 o'clock, I think.
7 o'clock?
Because I think the borough closed at 8, and that gives us enough time to
Yeah, that's the question, is if they close at 8, are we pushing it too much? Should we start at 6? Should we start at 6:30?
Well, if we do the podcast at 7 every other day for the live feed, but
yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
So it's just something tentatively 7 o'clock. We'll ask the boroughs what's most convenient for them.
Of course. Yeah.
They usually didn't mind us sticking around a little later, because when we leave, they would lock up. And then the biggest problem I had with leaving late was when you go to dinner with everybody, then it's you have about 3 places open.
Yeah. Okay. Monthly on the first Wednesday. Save. All right. So that'll automatically populate.
Right. Yeah, because today we talked about nothing. We watched a couple trailers, but we went an hour and a half.
Well,
and
that's
when we
what
get
we
our friends
do.
in the room, it's going to be a lot more.
Well, we need to be regimented. You had spoken of having a ding 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 ding.
An outline for how much time we had a lot, and then that way we can actually cover stuff, because we bounce around a lot when we're doing this.
We do. But, I didn't even get to any. I pulled up a couple news things, but not much.
Yeah, I had about 3 stories on here I wanted to share too, but they're not relevant, or they're not time sensitive.
Right.
So, yeah, and I would like to do more of picking a subject, having a guest. I will say at first borough show, we're not planning on having a guest as much, because we're going to have people in the audience we want to talk to. But then right after that, we'll be hitting guests.
Yeah.
I got to show you the guests so we can pick who we want on first.
All right. All right, everybody. We will see you next Wednesday as we do more casting of the cons.
Casting of the cons.
And keep in mind, we've got, I know you didn't mention it, but you're all over it. We've got McConnell coming up on the 7th.
Yep, I'm working on helping them out some car stuff. I did find out Ghostbusters is going to have some of their cars there. Yeah, it's looking good. I think they announced their first guest today. I can't remember the guy's name, but he was the sword fighter trainer guy on Game of Thrones.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
someone who actually knows what they're doing.
Yeah. So
let me see something really quick here. So we were saying June 4th is what we're looking at. All right. And the 7th is okay, cool. All right. But other than that, let's go ahead and say goodbye and talk at you next week, my man.
Hugs and kisses. See you guys next week.